Chapter 7. Chapter 7 is going to look a lot like Chapter 6. The difference between them is in Chapter 7, there's always sort of two people involved. In Chapter 6 is like, I wonder, and then I just go out and do a survey and I get an interval and I get a margin of error. This is, I'm reading a newspaper and someone makes some wild claim somewhere. Okay, some other person besides me says something, oh, well, this is this. And they just say something, it's a claim, but they don't necessarily back it up with any kind of actual study. So I go out and test what they've said by doing an actual study. So section 7.1 is just practice in writing out people's claims. So this is a list of claims. Somebody maybe somewhere said these claims. There's not any homework problems on this. This comes out of the notes. Okay, so someone might say, all right, well, the mean body temperature is 98.6 degrees. Okay, now if I'm going to have to do some math on this, I got to be able to write that down. So mean is 98.6. And I've just written that under H0. H0 stands for the null hypothesis. It's usually where things that people say, it's usually where it goes. Okay, so anyway, I've written down that the mean is 98.6 degrees. And I've used that little mu sign because there's going to be two means in this. There's going to be the one that person said. And then there's going to be the one that I'm going to go out and actually do some stuff. I'm going to get an X bar right from my one variable stats on my calculator. So I got to save, I got to have one symbol for each. So they get the mu symbol. All right. And then people have at most two phones. And down here at the bottom, I'll put it up some more. At most is in this category right there, less than or equal to. A lot of these things, you got to kind of talk it through in English. At most two phones. That means they don't know a single person who's got three. They've got 0, 1, or 2. At most 2. Nobody's got more than that. So they're saying less than or equal to 2. And that's just something you have to like mess with the English language to get those. At least 70%. I think this was at least 70% believe in aliens or something like that. Okay, at least 70%. Well, first of all, at least, it's the opposite to at most. It's 70% or more, right? At least 70%. It might be 71% or 72%, but it's at least 70%. So that's going to be a greater than or equal to. All right, so I would write greater than or equal to. I'm going to put 0.7 instead of 70%, just because I got to put it in my calculator, and I can't really put the percent in my calculator. So that's it written as a decimal, so I can stick that into the calculator. And you can use whatever letter you want here. It really doesn't matter. You could use mu for all of them. But this is a proportion question. This is a yes or no question. Do you believe in aliens? So you're supposed to use the P because it's from that one prop section of the book. All right, age is 16.5 years. Great, getting back to the word is. Is the equal sign. I love the ones that say is. I'll have to sit there and count it off on my fingers and figure out which way they're talking about. Do they mean more or less? Is. Oh, good. Is the equal sign. So somebody said is 16.5. People want less than 4 kids. Okay, less than's not on my list down here. And the reason why is it doesn't include an equal sign. And everything down here's got an equal sign. They don't say they want 4 kids. They want less than 4 kids. They want maybe 0 or 1 or 2 or 3, but definitely not 4. Less than 4. So I can't say less than or equal to, like this, less than or equal to. I gotta say less than. Now I'm going to put this over here, less than 4. And so it's in H1, which is also called HA. Sometimes it's the alternative hypothesis. Okay, and the only reason for that is the lack of an equal sign. That's what it's doing over there. All right, and greater than, now greater than, same sort of deal. It's not in my list down here because it doesn't include an equal sign. They didn't say greater than or equal to. So greater than 5 out of 8. Okay, so greater than, it's got to go over there because it doesn't have an equal sign. This was a yes or no question. Greater than 5 out of 8 people believe in leprechauns or something. Okay, and then I could write 5/8, but I'm going to call it 0.625 because I'm going to have to put this in my calculator. And if I'm going to have to put my calculator, if I go 5 divided by 8 in my calculator, I get 0.625. Okay. It's not even on there. Okay, 5 divided by 8 in my calculator. And that's 0.625. That's where I got that, because I don't want to be trying to figure out how to put 5 out of 8 in my calculator, but that's where it came from. All right, so I've written all my hypotheses. Whatever the person said is going to be the hypothesis. It's the thing I'm going to test. Okay, this is a chapter on hypothesis testing, and I'm going to test these things. I'm going to use the test button on my calculator, but there has to be some other person. The other person is the one who made this wild claim, and I would like to test it with actual data. Okay, so that's why it's testing. I'm going to test them out. And this whole writing H0s and H1s doesn't have anything to do with me. I haven't gone out and done my survey yet. But every time you do this, they want you to write out the opposite of what this is. So the opposite of equals 98.6 is not equal to 98.6. So the alternative hypothesis is always the opposite of the one I wrote down. So let's see, less than or equal to, the opposite of that is greater than. Greater than or equal to, the opposite of that is less than. Equals, the opposite of that is not equals. And now this, okay, I got to write something into the H0 column. The opposite of less than is greater than or equal to. And the opposite of greater than is less than or equal to. So there aren't any homework problems on this, but once we get into section 7.2 and beyond, so we're doing homework problems, the very first thing it says is you got to write down the hypothesis, and this is what we're doing for that.